Guys, it's so good to see you.
Yes.
Good to be here.
Yes.
Good to be
Romeos.
Yes, Romeos. Aki,
Is
it a special day?
Romeo Day?
Makes it a special day. Anyway,
Every day is Romeo Day.
glad we get together once again for a little conversation, and thank you
Hey.
for joining us, to all of you.
Good to be here.
We appreciate some of the comments we've been receiving. Any other thoughts you may have, good, bad, indifferent, please
And
provide
guys,
them.
by the way, Aki is a nice person, despite the comments. Anyway, keep going.
Okay.
Sorry.
With that clarification out of the way.
Thank you. I'm really happy that we did that.
Yeah, so thanks for the comments. Thanks for the likes. And for those who haven't liked us, perhaps this is the episode that will change your perspective and will cause you to like us.
I doubt it.
And for all of you out there, please press the subscribe button. We would appreciate having more of you subscribe to our podcast. And with that, let's jump right into today's topic.
What are we talking about?
We are talking about the role of celebrities and professional athletes as role models.
That's terrible.
It's a terrible topic.
No, why would they actually be role models? What is there to be a role model about?
You're volunteering to get us started. Why don't you? Who said they're volunteering? First of all, what do you think of the idea of celebrities as role models?
I didn't volunteer. Why are you picking on me?
Not giving you an opportunity to shine.
Oh, okay. So,
Opportunity wasted. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's not very nice.
So this whole culture of adoring or adoration of celebrities and sports or sports personalities. First of all, from a sports personality side, I could say, okay, that's I can understand it. It's more understandable. But from a celebrity perspective, because you can go on a stage and pretend you're someone else, because you can, go in front of a camera and take 20 takes of trying to do something, and they take the best one at the best angle at the best possible moment and turn that into a film, and all of a sudden you're considered to be a role model? Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm speechless.
Like, seriously. I mean, to me,
Robert De Niro. So you can be Robert De Niro. You have the talent.
You
and the
can't
presence
handle
of
the truth.
Robert De Niro.
Son, we live in a world that has
You've
walls,
been-
and those walls have to
you've
be
been
guarded by
by-
men with guns. Who's going to do it? You, Lieutenant Weinberg. Okay.
Was that De Niro or Pacino?
No, it was neither.
Okay.
Nicholas.
Thank you.
Nicholson.
So you don't recognize the skill, the talent of,
No, I don't
of major
understand.
stars, major performers.
I don't understand.
Nothing there.
Listen, they're good-looking people that are nice to look at. They have the minimum amount of talent to make you believe what they want to make you believe, because they're playing make-believe, which is essentially what they're doing. What children do from little age when they play make-believe, they're doing it as adults. They're believable. They have a certain amount of talent. I won't take that away from them. But at the same point, adoration, millions of dollars thrown at them. I get it. They earn money, but at the same time, or they make money for others, but at the same time, ridiculous.
But Nora, you said adoration. Not everybody that's adored is a role model. There's a difference.
Okay.
So,
Okay, guys, I'm going to take a step
that's
back.
it,
We're going to try and bring definition to two terms.
So I completely ruined it.
No, not at all. But
It's not too late.
You helped me realize that we may have done a better job of framing this.
Yeah, you suck. What
So
the hell?
well, that we knew before, and it's just a confirmation of that. So, one, what is a celebrity? And two, what is a role model?
Yeah.
Because I'm listening to you, and you're talking about actors and,
Right.
and professional athletes. But today, I think that anyone who achieves a certain measure of notoriety, it could be an influencer on social media,
Yep.
achieves quote unquote celebrity status.
True.
So to me, a celebrity would be anyone who has,
For better or worse.
for better, for worse,
In
just-
sicker and in hell.
let's not add definition or terms to the definition that aren't needed. I think it's anyone who has a following today that would be measured in the millions.
Okay.
Exactly.
That today,
Like the Romeos.
I said in the millions, not in the tens, in the millions.
Mi scusi.
So please subscribe.
Very subtle.
Is that fair enough?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
So Donald Trump is a celebrity.
Yeah, you don't have to name names. Yes.
Why not?
Yes, he fits the definition.
It's the definition.
Okay.
Now,
There you go.
what is a role
Not
model?
a role model.
What is a role model?
Not Donald
A
Trump.
role model.
Will you stop with Donald Trump? What is a role model?
To me, a role model is somebody who's very good at his profession and a very good person in life.
Okay, I'm going to take a very different view of what a role model is.
Okay.
A role model is someone who willingly or unwillingly serves as a model for others to emulate. So it's not because they choose to. It's not necessarily because they want to. But they have an audience that has bestowed this status on them that causes the audience members to want to be like that person, like that individual.
Okay. Well, you can be a role model to a smaller number of people, or
You can.
You can. Teachers are role models to their students, etc.
Parents are role models to their kids, or
Exactly.
could be.
Okay, but now we're talking about celebrity, people with millions of followers, people who are known, around the world, who are recognized, and who also
have a following in the millions.
Okay, and they're also, by definition, they'll be role models to those people who are following them because they are looked up to by these people.
They're
so
admired.
by default,
They're admired.
Correct.
For better, for worse, they're
Yeah.
admired by
Okay.
their audience.
right?
But they themselves don't necessarily choose to be role models.
Okay.
The audience members are the ones who decide, I admire this person, I want to emulate them.
Okay, so
is,
what-
is that fair? Can we work with that?
Yeah, we can work with that as a definition. But what was the question in the beginning then?
Your thoughts and opinions on celebrities, the role of celebrities
buying-
as role models.
He's buying time. He has nothing. He has nothing.
And while you think about it, I'm going to think to Aki because he
nothing.
clearly wants to talk to us about Donald Trump.
Okay, go for it.
Well, look, I mean, Donald Trump is an example of somebody who Donald Trump, check the boxes. The huge following, and for over 70 million Americans, apparently he's a role model, somebody they admire.
Not just Americans.
Oh my God! Well, then it's frighteningly.
I want his hairdo so badly.
So not just Americans. So therefore, his fame is even more gargantuan than I'm describing.
Absolutely.
Don't you think it's a stretch to think he's a role model to 70 million or even more? They vote for him. Doesn't mean they see him as a role model.
Have you heard of some of the people that support
Yeah,
him
there
and
is,
some
of
of the things
course.
that they have to
No,
say?
I agree with Dominic.
They're not 70 million of them who think
I don't think there have to be 70 million.
They
The
parrot
question
him.
is simply this. Does his fame position him as a celebrity?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do all celebrities have to be role models?
No, and many don't want to be.
No, but are they by default?
No,
Okay.
not by default. The question, and I'm going to stick to Donald Trump. So we agree that he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
He has celebrity status.
Agree.
Are there large numbers of people? Doesn't have to be 70 million. Are there large numbers of people who would like to emulate
Yes.
Donald Trump, who envy him, who
Yes.
want to be like him?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
the answer is yes.
Absolutely. We see it.
Therefore,
I believe.
Th-
I believe
This is
that you.
are you going to do the dance? Okay. Hey, you have talent, my friend.
you.
You have talent.
There you
Don't
go.
let anyone tell you otherwise.
Thank you.
And others may choose to look at you as a role model.
God help them.
I'm not going to disagree.
And
with
I'm
you.
not going to add anything to that after that gesture.
Pat.
I'm not
Okay.
adding anything.
Yes.
Only because he's got millions that see him as a role model doesn't mean that he's a good role model.
I never qualified role model as good or,
Or
bad,
bad.
or indifferent.
Yeah, you're right.
I simply asked the question, your thoughts of celebrities as role models.
Okay, I'm freaking out here with respect to why people consider a celebrity. Why they look up to people?
Let's delve into that.
Why? What's
It's-
the fascination with people?
It's a very, very pertinent question. Let's address it because it gets into the psychology of people.
okay.
I'll give you my example of a celebrity, an athlete that was a role model for me when I was a young kid. For those that know hockey, Ken Dryden. Why? Because he was
Not Bruce Jenner.
Bruce Jenner, the great hockey player.
the reason why is that he was an amazing athlete. He was educated. A good person, well spoken. So that to me is a role model.
Okay, so you've just explain to us and our audience what character traits or attributes in that individual caused you to look at him as a role model.
Yeah.
And how did you emulate him?
More broadly, let's answer the question that Nuran raised, which is in general terms, why do so many people look at celebrities as role models?
Because they have visibility.
That's not why. You have to get inside their psyche, get inside the audience's psyche. And I simply think because they envy the lifestyle of those individuals. I think it's that simple.
I think that I believe that as well. And I just find that it's sad.
Today, yeah.
It's just sad. It's a sad reflection on others that you could look at someone who, you know, has a lifestyle of the rich and famous, who get recognized and get lost and be jealous of someone else's position in life and someone else's circumstance.
That's a social media phenomenon.
I'm not sure.
That's
It's
before
just,
social media. It's been happening. I mean, when Elvis came on, you know, and all the women, all the girls were like screaming their heads off.
But it wasn't his lifestyle. Nobody knew about his lifestyle.
It's not about the life. It's about celebrity and people just like losing themselves in the with celebrity.
Well, I'm gonna beg to differ. I don't think it's the totality necessarily of an individual's persona and lifestyle. It could be one or few elements of that lifestyle. So they see someone, for instance, use Elvis Presley as an example, and we have more modern day examples of individuals, singers, for instance, performers who have achieved a similar level of fame because they have a talent. So others may envy those individuals because they wish they had this similar level of talent. I wish I could sing like this individual. I wish I could dance like this individual. I wish I could act as well as this individual. That's one factor. It could be because they've achieved a phenomenal amount of wealth. And individuals may say, I wish I had that amount of wealth. I wish I was driving these cars and flying on these planes and living in these homes. Could be any number of things. It could be because I wish I had the adoration of so many tens of thousands or millions of young girls or young boys or whatever the case may be.
Do they have to be young?
They don't have to be. I do think that young people, in all seriousness, are more easily influenced.
Yes.
I know where you're going. It's okay. Let it out. Let it out.
Yeah. So Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Is
superstar.
Is Elvis Presley's, you know, the other side of the coin, let's say, in today's...
Many times over.
Yeah. Whatever. We can argue
Many
yes,
times
no.
over, Elvis Presley, the king.
so.
Okay,
Taylor Swift.
Hang on. Let's not argue.
Sacrilege.
And you don't want to piss off the Swifties. No way do you want to piss off the Swifties.
Yeah, we want the Swifties to watch us.
No, forget what. Just don't piss them off.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. I'm very afraid, people.
All right.
She's
I will be
fantastic.
as polite as I
She's
can.
much better and
Whether
bigger than
you
Elvis.
like her or not,
No.
there's no denying her superstardom.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do we agree that she should be put up on a pedestal like that as an individual? Because you know what, in her heart of hearts, I'm sure when she wakes up in the morning, she is a human being, a young lady, talented, whatever, up the wazoo, fantastic. But still, she's just a human being. What is it that we have to put people on pedestals like this?
So it's an interesting and timely example because I read an article today that essentially was criticizing Taylor Swift.
God help them.
God help them. They were criticizing Taylor Swift for not being a better role model for young women. And you know what this article was getting at?
Because she's not political.
The fact that she's now, if I'm not mistaken, a 33 or 34-year-old woman
Yeah.
who is not yet married,
Oh God.
does not have children. No, I'm serious. I'm not making this stuff up. I read this. This was a legitimate article that was written by someone.
It was an opinion piece by an idiot.
opinion piece.
It's very condescending. I mean, women now, that's their dream at the age of 34 to have children, to be
Aki,
a mother.
don't shoot the messenger.
Okay.
All I'm doing is sharing with you a perspective someone had on Taylor Swift, the superstar, and her status on the subject we are covering today, that of a role model.
Crazy.
And I thought to myself, not crazy, I thought how unfair
How backward.
to place the person in that situation, because I have not seen, and not that I'm close to Taylor Swift, but I've not seen any evidence of this woman trying to position herself
Let her live her life.
as a model for other people to emulate.
Exactly. It's garbage.
She's living her best life. She's trying to be authentic from everything I can gather. And she's amassed a huge following worldwide.
Yep.
And now there are people who are going to go after her because they're not their ideal of what she should be or what she should stand for. And all of this just strikes me as being absolutely ridiculous.
Well, the same thing, Michael Jordan. I mean, a lot of criticism of Michael Jordan because he wasn't, outspoken enough about his community, about the black community, and not taking on the causes of the black community. That he wasn't leveraging all this celebrity and all this superstardom. And
Yeah, but that's a personal choice.
He's
I
out-
mean,
he-
why would you blame? Listen, in the end, the foundation of everyone is they're a human being, talented, not talented, lucky, good timing in their career, whatever it is. They have an amount of success, and they have an amount of people that are either following them, viewing them, looking up to them, watching them, whatever.
I think it's unfair to put on those people's shoulders the responsibility of serving as a role model. I think it's fair to ask those people to be as authentic as possible. In other words,
That's up to them. You can't ask them anything.
It is up to them. I agree. But as public personas, and I would say this of anyone who's in the public eye, all I ask for is, at least some effort to appear somewhat authentic. But it doesn't mean that you have to disclose all your beliefs, all your likes, all your dislikes. You have a right to a certain amount of privacy.
Well, you can choose the amount of privacy, and you can choose the amount of information you want to share about yourself. Right?
Yes, and all I'm asking when I say authentic is don't lie, don't mislead, don't just be who you are. That's all I ask for.
No, but that's
On the other
No,
hand,
because these to me are
but that's your view of the world because of your ethics and your
yes.
morality.
And so
You
I
just
hold
want
everyone
them-
to the same standard.
Yeah, but you see, you're being judgmental of others, and
I'm
when you-
always judgmental.
Okay,
but
go ahead, Dominic.
On the other hand, if you're blessed with this talent, fame, fortune, it comes with responsibility to
I
do
agree.
good, to be out there, to voice your opinion, to support causes.
I disagree.
Well,
But you don't like Bono.
Well, I loved Bono, but when he did it during concerts, when I'm paying top dollar to listen to him sing, and he gives me a political speech, that's
But that's using the platform.
And
That's
I-
using-
and I would
you
argue-
do it outside of where I'm paying.
Yeah, but I would argue that he's being authentic.
Well, I don't know about that.
I do.
He moved his company to France to
Well, okay,
to
business.
reduce
Well, we know-
taxes.
Well, to reduce taxes, he moved to France?
Yeah, I know.
That doesn't make much sense.
I know. That's
From Ireland? I think Ireland doesn't. Anyway, that's another
know.
conversation.
But anyway,
he needs a better accountant.
Yeah, it would seem so.
but I agree. But I mean,
Again, I think, so for me, it comes down to, and I don't know Bono, I only know of him. But if he or another celebrity chooses to be a role model, I'm okay with that. It's their choice. And then individuals have a choice to either follow or not.
But you
What I'm questioning is whether they have, and you say they have a responsibility.
You don't choose to be a role model. I have to disagree with you. You don't choose.
No, but-
Other people just they try to emulate you. If all of a sudden tomorrow you were on every picture on the globe and everyone knew who you were, you would be a role model. It's not because you want to be. It's because people will say, "Oh, Pat, everyone loves Pat. Everyone wants to be like."
So that's half the equation. And I'm not disagreeing with
so
you
people
that
don't opt in.
they do.
You can't. You can't opt in or opt out.
Yes, you can.
How?
I'm not questioning the audience's perception of the individual and whether they choose to view that individual, that celebrity, as a role model.
Okay, so how do you opt in?
Well, Michael Jordan is a good example. Michael Jordan's position, I believe, was I'm a ball player. I'm not going to take a political position as much as other people want me to. I think his comment.
It's
I don't
not-
know.
it's not
I don't know
because
if
of-
it was verbatim or
it's-
not.
it's not
but at
about
some point, he's alleged to have made a comment about both Democrats and Republicans by running shoes.
By running shoes, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right?
He did.
But
yeah.
but that has nothing to do with whether a 12-year-old boy is going to look up to him as a figure, as
role model.
as a role model. That has nothing to do with it.
I agree, but
that's
there-
why I mean the individual can't opt in or opt out.
Yes, they can from the standpoint that there are individuals, celebrities, who say, I want to serve as a role model.
Correct.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything if nobody follows them. It's not their choice.
I'm
But it's not
saying
even-
it's a two-sided coin.
I'm saying
Like you
it's
two
said,
one-sided.
elements.
no, but like you said, they're human
I
beings.
disagree.
Look, like you said, they're human beings, and some of them they believe in causes that are very dear to them, and they decided they're going to use their fame,
Their
to-
platform.
their platform to support those causes.
That has nothing to do with whether Billy here is looking up to him
no,
and
but
wants to emulate him or not.
I don't think that's the thought. The thought is like to
That's
his
my
point.
point. My point is it's not up to the individual. It's up to the person who's doing
okay.
the looking
You're
up
right,
to.
You're
right.
skirting the issue. You're talking about the ultimate impact on members of the audience.
Right.
That's not what I'm discussing. I'm discussing first
That's
off
being a role
whether
model.
whether or not we think that celebrities should assume the role of model.
And I'm saying it's not up
towards
to
their
them.
audiences.
I think it belongs to the people who are throwing adulation at them, who are loving them, who are wanting to become like them. It's the audience that's causing them to be a role model. Without the audience, you're not a role model. Who are you modeling to?
So with that point, then do you support Dominic's earlier comment that they have the responsibility?
No, because it's not their choice. Absolutely not. This is bullshit. Look at the logic that you're using. Because I have fame and because a million people look up to me, I have to now be a different person than I am?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not my logic. My logic and my whole point was these people should be authentic. That's what I said. I never said they should be responsible.
Bullshit. Why are you putting that onto that person?
To be
It's not their-
authentic?
I
We're
put
putting
that on
that-
everyone to be authentic.
But that's not up to you.
Yes, I'm entitled to my opinion.
That's your opinion, but it's not up to you. You cannot make.
I'm not
say
making anyone anything.
correct. So why?
For example, I can't make you be quiet.
you can't.
I'm asking you if you agreed with Dominic's earlier point, because the route you were going down is these people, whether they opt in or not, are going to be role models. Therefore,
yes.
if your argument is valid, do you believe these people have a responsibility to be role models? And your answer simply is no.
No, my answer is no, because it wasn't up to them to become a role model. They
You
were
made
put-
that point. That's not the question.
Yeah. So once
That's not the question.
So then, what you're saying is because society expects something from you, you have to be.
No,
someone that
I'm
you're not.
asking you what you think.
I'm telling you that I don't think.
That's
that
all
those
that's
people-
all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear.
Conclusion. What is your conclusion?
That it's not that you should not. No one should be told what to do. That's what I've been saying for a long time.
Okay.
This is my belief.
Okay.
So society should not be telling Taylor Swift, "Hey, you should be married and have children by now," because that's what a woman of 33 should do, which is the example you gave. So I don't believe, and I think you agreed with me, that she should not be bending into people's pressures to change something because somehow the world made her a role model because everyone wants to emulate her. You made my argument for me. No one should
I
have
didn't
to
make
be.
it. I didn't make it for you.
Yes, you
that is
did.
my opinion.
Okay, your opinion made my argument for
No.
me.
So we have some points we agree on and points we disagree on.
Yes.
So I do not believe that celebrities have a responsibility to be role models.
But
I do not.
But it's not up to them.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so they don't have a responsibility to be a role model. However, they wake up one morning and they are because people are following them.
that's not on them.
Okay, so we agree.
That's not on them.
Okay, so we agree.
What I'm saying is, if there are individuals out there who opt in, who choose,
You can't opt in. That's
yes,
my
you
point.
can. Yes, you can.
Okay.
Okay. So
So, in other words, I know that others are being influenced by my behavior.
The influencers can opt in.
And,
Okay.
and
But
I choose to behave a certain way because I want all these people
Okay.
to emulate.
So-
To be an influencer.
So
I
they don't
agree
have the
with you on
okay.
influence.
So they don't have the responsibility to be role models, but they do have a responsibility to their audience and to their followers. Do they not?
What responsibility?
Well, the responsibility to
Now you're going down the same path Dominic did. So expand on responsibility.
So the responsibility to continue to perform at a very high level, to continue to make their work, to share their work, with their followers, to produce records, to produce music, to produce works of art. That responsibility to continue to produce and enhance the art space. That's their responsibility. No.
Or sports.
No, I don't think so. Again, I go for authenticity, which means if you choose a lifestyle that isn't necessarily one that I believe in, but that is who you are, live that lifestyle.
Okay. Do artists, to high level artists, and let's go back to the examples of a superstar like Taylor Swift. Do they have any responsibility?
So I understand it's not my decision how people are going to behave, but my answer to your question is consistently the same. Be authentic.
Okay.
Taylor Swift, if this is who you are, then be who you are.
Well, that is a level of responsibility.
Snoop Dogg, if this is who you are, be who you are.
Then this is a level of responsibility. Be authentic, like you said. That's the key word here. Be yourself. Don't be something else. Don't be a fraud when you're performing. Your brand should not be, one of a fraud.
Why are you telling them how to be? I don't understand that. I know you want people to be authentic.
No,
but
We're just talking about,
whether they are
they're
or they
privileged
aren't,
people in
that's
society.
their choice.
it doesn't matter.
But they're privileged people. Privileged people have certain responsibilities.
What are those responsibilities?
Besides paying taxes, no.
What responsibilities are the exactly?
To give back.
To work hard at their craft. And
They could do what they want. Why are you telling them to work hard?
Well, I'm sorry,
They
but
could be lazy and still be successful. Like again, you're putting your values onto others.
Look, lazy and be successful. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. All I'm saying is that I think what's common sense here is when you reach that level and you are a respected and very popular artist, then it does come with some sort of responsibility, in my opinion. Just to continue to produce your work, to be accessible, not to be accessible, but to have contact, with your audience.
That's
this sort
their
of thing.
choices.
No, I don't think that responsibility is to that level. Responsibility is to give back to the community.
In what way?
Well, they gave the fame and fortune.
It would be nice, but you don't have to expect it from them.
Well, I think I
It would
do.
be nice.
That's
That's for all successful people.
I come back to some celebrities are that way.
Yeah.
Others aren't.
No.
No.
And I'm saying be who you are. I
And to
just
me-
want to see you for who you are. I
Okay,
don't
so-
want to see phoniness. I don't want to see.
So to me, that's a responsibility, Pat. What you're describing, it's not an automatic thing. It's it's a principle. It's to be authentic, to be comfortable in your own skin.
No, but that's the only thing I ask for.
And I see that as responsibility. You might not
So-
agree with me, but
to
that's
me,
where I
to
see
me, the issue
responsibility.
of how other people perceive you and whether or not other people choose to emulate you is not on you.
I agree.
It's on them.
I agree.
That's right. That's exactly what I've been saying. Yeah.
So being authentic, so do you agree with what I'm saying? Being authentic is a level of responsibility, is it not?
You can look at it that way.
That's
but I would
what I'm
say
saying.
if it is, that's the only one.
I
that's
agree.
The only expectation
I agree.
would have.
I
for
agree.
everyone.
So Pat, what do you say about influencers who are not being authentic, but who are
They're fraudsters.
well? No, let me continue. Who are
Donald Trump.
First of all, I believe the question was directed at me. And if you stop
Please,
interrupting him, he can formulate the
and I might
question.
remember
apologies.
what my question was.
My apologies. Please continue, Durant. Listen, Pat.
What?
I'm
How
trying.
about if an influencer has a shtick, has something that they do which they found creates a lot of clicks and a lot of followers, and it's not who they are, but it's something, not the Haktu girl or whatever, but some.
You've been dying to get that in. Good for you. You got it in. Go ahead.
I'll get a lot of other things in if you don't. Anyway, no, but influencers who are they're not being their authentic selves, but they found a shtick that people like, that people want to, tune into, watch their TikToks, watch their Instagram, have huge number of followers, but it's not who they are. But this is their persona online to get viewers and whatever. That's not their authentic selves, but it's their artistic selves. Again, you don't have to be authentic to be,
Well,
you know what I mean?
But again, I don't want to twist. I think I understand what you're saying, but if that persona is an authentic artistic,
well, that's it. They're
interpretation or portrayal, I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, but how do you distinguish?
How do you distinguish? Sometimes it's difficult because people are good at their craft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if your whole intent is to mislead people and to manipulate people, that's where I take exception.
I think manipulation, by definition, is what acting is all about. Is to
I don't think
manipulate
so.
the audience. Yeah, it is. You want to manipulate the audience. You want to get them to cry. You want to get them the emotion out of them. It's in essence a manipulation. I know we're splitting hairs here.
Yeah,
but
I understand what you're saying. I don't interpret it that way. I don't look at it that way.
So for me,
it's like telling me I write a song and my intent is to make people cry, as opposed to I'm writing a song which is an authentic interpretation of my feelings, and the way I interpret that song is causing people to react emotionally. There's a distinction there.
Yeah.
And I think that when Meryl Streep puts herself in the skin of a person that is fictional, but embodies that character in such a way that it causes us to believe that she is that person, she's doing a magnificent job of being authentic in her acting and in her
agree.
interpretation of that person.
I agree.
I don't view it as, oh, Meryl Streep is trying to manipulate the audience.
Exactly.
Well,
That's
that's a different way to look at it.
Yeah.
And most fans of Meryl Streep, just to give that example, that's not the way they feel. They feel
Once again, I don't care how other people feel.
well. They feel fulfilled. They feel that they feel that they've gotten their money's worth. That this is a performance worthy of a very talented person.
Fair. Now, foundationally, I get to the bottom of this by saying no one should expect anything from anyone else. So if someone is put in the role of a role model, by definition, because people have followed them, because of whatever they've done, because they're fantastic sports icons, they have talent, whatever number of reasons, and they've been put in that position, I don't think anyone should expect anything from them because they didn't do anything besides what was authentically what they wanted to do in the first place, whether they're actors, whether they're sports personalities.
I'm gonna disagree with you. So I'll give you an example. We can talk about a sporting event. So we use Michael Jordan. If I'm paying huge dollars, as Dominic suggested earlier, to attend a game in which Michael Jordan is playing, I have an expectation that A, I'm going to see him play, and I'm going to see him perform to his ability. Yeah. That's my expectation.
Perfect.
Whether you're saying, well, you should never, you don't have the right to have that expectation.
No.
That's my expectation.
I'm talking expectation as a role model, not to do his job.
No. So he's a ball player.
Right. So play ball.
He's not someone I want to look to for political views or opinions, or
But
I
when
want
you
to
say-
see him play ball.
Yeah, but
that's my expectation.
okay, but that's a fair expectation of someone who plays ball. When you're talking about role model, did he beat up his girlfriend? Did he leave a good tip at that at the restaurant when he left? Did he treat the doorman rude at this whatever? That's what role models do, and this is what people emulate. That's what you should not expect him to do differently.
But people
Play
expect
ball,
that. But people have that expectation.
But that's where I'm saying they're wrong. That's the difference. Don't expect this person to be a better human being than you or I just because he plays great ball.
But Pat
Let
is
him
saying,
play great ball.
Pat is saying all he expects is authenticity. Just do what,
Yeah, but if
what
his
you're
authentic
gifted
self is
doing.
to be an asshole, then let him be an asshole.
Right. And if he's an asshole, as long as it's within the confines of the law.
Yeah,
because
so be it.
some of the things you mentioned are unlawful.
Okay, besides beating up his
So,
girlfriend.
so if it's not unlawful,
Yes.
be your authentic self.
Yeah, okay.
And I will decide whether or not I choose to respect you, admire you for something other than your athletic
Okay, but
ability.
you're-
That's it.
But
That's
there's-
it.
There's nothing wrong with what you said, absolutely. But the point is, you can't be the arbiter of whether they're being their authentic selves or not. You're just seeing the result of their behavior, and then it's up to you to choose whether you want to emulate that behavior or not. And by the way, it has nothing to do with the individual. It's because of all the followers that he's been put
Yeah,
into
look,
this position.
so there's part of your whole argument dating back to the beginning of the conversation that I do agree with, which is
Holy shit.
ultimately members of the audience are the ones who decide
Exactly.
whether they are going to emulate somebody else's behavior.
Correct.
What I find deplorable today, and you can argue it's always been true, perhaps not to the degree it is today, is the number of people, many young, some not so young, who look at celebrities and desperately want to emulate their lifestyles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can't afford them.
Well, for reasons of what? For one, because they're famous. For two, because they have wealth. I mean, what else is there?
They look cool, and so on and so on. Yeah, and they emulate or they try to emulate, and it's sad.
People want to be famous, though. That there's this part of human psychology that people just want to be famous.
Some do.
Look at us.
Infamous.
Not yet. Not yet.
But it's sad that you don't think that there's a responsibility beyond that. No.
No, what? How could you put that onto someone?
But it's because, they
Just
were
because
blessed.
they're famous? Yeah, let them be blessed. So it's up to them, right? If they
And
have
they
a
also-
good heart, if they want to give back, that's fantastic.
Yeah, but to me, it's like a ledger, it's plus minus.
Yeah.
So
I
I'll
can
tell you.
understand
I'll
that.
tell you where I believe there is a responsibility, and unfortunately, it's not a responsibility that's taken seriously enough. Parents, first and foremost, should assume the responsibility of being role models to their children.
Of course.
Well, you say, of course. It is oftentimes not the case.
No.
So that's where I make the distinction. I don't believe celebrities have the responsibility. Some may choose to, some may not. To me, a parent should not have the choice. And yes, you can't tell people what to do. I'm talking about my opinion. Every parent, the moment they decide to be a parent,
Yeah.
should assume the responsibility of being a positive role model.
That should be
to
the
their
first
children.
role model to everybody.
Should be.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't have you have a license to drive a car. You have a license to own a gun, at least in some places. You don't have a license. You have a license to get married, but anyone can have kids.
You're right.
You know what?
And that's the problem.
I'll even rephrase it, and I'll even say, Pat, that when you are authentic, that is tacit role modeling.
That's of course honesty. Honesty is fantastic.
It's a fraction of what a role model should assume as far as the behavior that they project, knowing that one of their important responsibilities in life is to put forth an image that their children should look up to. And when I say look up to, admire and want to emulate. So your values, your beliefs, your behavior, because the actions speak louder than the words, right? If I tell my kids don't smoke and I'm a chain smoker,
Of course.
it doesn't have a whole lot of positive effect.
Of course.
Right? That's where it begins for me. And I think that there are a few people in a close network that's comprised of, a few other family members. It could be grandparents, it could be aunts or uncles or older relatives. It could be a few people you encounter in the educational system as throughout the course of your early schooling. These are people who can serve as role models as you enter the workforce. You may be fortunate enough to work for someone who projects a behavior that you would do well to emulate, but for all the right reasons, not because they just happen to be an executive, they happen to be wealthy, they happen to. So I think individuals as they go through the stages of early childhood, adolescence, and so on and so forth, and become more aware of the influence other people have on them, should be selective about who they choose, who they select as role models, as opposed to.
So how do you do that?
I see
though?
celebrity, I see wealth, I see. Well, I think if you have that solid foundation with your parents, it gives you a leg up. But I believe in today's society, it's very difficult because, again, social media plays such an influential role.
That's it. Exactly. And then, you look at things like, rap music, right? A lot of the topics I have better cars. I have, lots of jewelry. I have lots of women. They use other words and so on and so forth. And it's misogynistic to a large extent, but always about, hey, I'm better. I'm a bigger man. I'll put you in your grave if you don't, whatever. And violence, like the whole bit, right? Again, it's a persona. It's not meant to be literal. We understand that. But at the same time, for kids that are growing up who are looking up to these folks as role models, can take the messages that are coming out of this thing and
glorify gangsterism.
Exactly, all of that stuff. So that's one aspect of it. There's like so many of these things that are happening.
Yeah.
And you're right. Kids with social media, with the proliferation of all the crap that's around them, how are they supposed to judge what's right and what's wrong, what's good, what's not good at this point?
I think it's increasingly difficult. It's possible, increasingly difficult. And again, I think if there's a solid foundation from home, from early life.
But how
early
many
childhood.
single family homes are there, and so on?
You're right.
Like broken homes.
But you know what?
You're right.
You raised an excellent point, and I don't want to single out rap. I respect rap.
I mean, I raised an excellent point.
You raised an excellent point.
First time.
I understand. Yeah. Please, everybody, mark this down. So, in the case of going back to artists being authentic, so if you have like real, gang members who have, you went into rap, and there is a message of violence, there is a celebration of violence, misogyny, everything you just described. I mean,
Yeah, but you're just saying, so you gotta be
authentic.
so you
what
gotta.
do you do with that authentic? Because that's authentic. You can argue that's authentic. That's who they are. That's the message.
Okay, I thought
that's
you were
their
going
art.
someplace else with that.
No, I'm saying, but these are artists who, in certain
50
types
Cent.
of rap, certain types of rap. This is how it comes out. That this is what they perform.
So I would hope that someone who listens to that music and finds it appealing, that's a personal choice, has the grounding from their upbringing to say, I enjoy the music. I understand where it comes from. It's touching a nerve with me, which is positive. It's causing me to have a reaction to it, which is positive. But I recognize that some of the things that are being said aren't right or are wrong.
Or it's just a song, and I just enjoy the
Right.
song. I'm not looking into it.
It could be, but then you ask yourself, why do I enjoy the song? Is it
It has a good beat.
Is it the lyrics? Is it what is it about the song?
What
like
about the
some of
artist?
that.
Pat? How do you see the artist? This artist who?
Well, you
as I described.
told me they're authentic.
They're authentic. But their authenticity
Then they're
based on criminal
expressing-
activity and gangs and.
It's their right to express themselves. And by the way, I've also seen examples of individuals who've grown up through a life of hardship. They were raised through violence. They got involved in gang-related activities.
Oh, I know where you're going
They
with this,
consumed
yeah.
large amounts of drugs, and then they reach a point in their lives where they say, you know what, that's all been part of my journey, but I've learned from it. I've experienced from it. And this is where I give an example of someone who says, I don't want others who come into this world in similar situations to have to experience everything I've experienced, and I choose to be a role model.
Oh, you just said that. I choose to
Yes.
change my life around.
Not only I choose to change my life around, I choose now to be a role model because I want to try and help other people who are born in similar situations to mine to avoid having to experience some of the hardships I had to experience. I'm not saying that this is the majority. I'm just giving an example of where this could have a very positive outcome, so long as they're authentic, right?
I say if they lie well enough, they don't have to be authentic.
We'll agree to disagree.
So, what did we get to then?
So
it's
there are different types of celebrities. We talked about, singers, actors,
Athletes.
Athletic supporters.
social media influencers, who have large
Politicians.
followings. It could be politicians. They come from different walks of life.
And we all...
Do each of our opinions hold true regardless of the type of celebrity?
Yeah, I think my
Yeah.
opinion holds true no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
I think obviously politicians are less likely to be role models.
They can be.
They can be.
How many
Because
How many aspiring American politicians have you heard say, I was influenced by a speech John Kennedy gave when I was a kid, or I was inspired by Obama, or I was inspired by fill in the blank. So
Martin Luther
I
King.
think that anyone
John
in
Lewis.
public life could have an influence on somebody else, and that they
Yes.
could inspire them. They could touch a nerve, touch a chord.
wasn't Biden used a lot of JFK's speeches? I think he plagiarized.
No, he
few.
plagiarized. There was a UK
UK,
Labour leader.
UK, yeah, okay.
And he plagiarized
So-
and he had to withdraw from the race.
And Dominic, what is the point you're making?
But the point is, politicians, I don't think,
Wasn't he a speechwriter for Washington?
I don't think politicians have the platform to be role models.
So, and this is where, as much as it pains me, I come back to something that Nuran said earlier.
It ain't up to
Whether
them.
they choose to be or not, and some choose to be, others not. that ultimately it's the audience member who's going to decide whether or not they choose that person as a role model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The political role is different from the artist's role.
It's so hard to be right.
Absolutely.
Especially
So do
when
you
you think
understand?
you are.
So wait a minute. Do you understand now? Do you understand? Have we, after all these conversations that we're having, do you understand the power of celebrity and the legitimacy of it, or you don't?
No, there's absolutely nothing to it. It's just it's a popularity contest, and people have decided I'm going to look at you and want to be like you.
What do you mean popularity contest? It's talent. It's unique talent. I mean, how many if you take
Hang on,
singers,
you take the sports
That's
out.
subjective.
You take the sports out, and you take the musicians out. When it comes to actors, just pure actors,
yes.
I no, they're the talent. Yes, there's maybe a little whatever bit of talent, but it's luck, it's timing, it's the breaks that they've had.
That's true of the other disciplines you mentioned
No,
as
sports.
well.
No, not for sports. Are you
Absolutely.
kidding me? You're telling me that Michael Jordan wouldn't have made it if he didn't have a break? Are you kidding me? It's like, come on. When you're at a certain level, you're going to succeed in sports.
So
when you're
name,
at a certain,
you can name Michael Jordan, you can name a dozen, you can name 100. My point is that in order to become one of the best at your craft, there is an element of good fortune
And consistency.
So there are many talented
guys, I'm
there are
giving you
many,
my opinion.
There are many talented athletes in the world
yeah.
who do not reach the heights of others because they weren't born into the right context, because they didn't get the lucky break. They weren't discovered.
So let me-
all I'm saying is, out of the musicians and the
Okay.
sports celebrities and the actors, the ones that I think have the most talent are the musicians and the sports celebrities.
Okay, so-
the actors, in my opinion, this is my opinion, do not have nearly the talent of a musician or a...
So an Anthony Hopkins, how would you?
I don't give a shit about the name. It's an actor. They're pretending. And by the way, if it's not on stage, they're taking 20 takes or 30 takes until they get it just right, until they stop fucking up their lines, until the facial expression is just right and the director
What
likes
happened?
it.
What happened to you? You had some bad experience with an aspiring actor?
It's not about that. It's just the reality of it. Why do we look up to people like this? I don't understand.
Because
for the life
do
of me,
it.
I don't
Do it.
understand.
You were all
Do it.
actors.
We're
all
doing it
actors.
now.
No, we're not doing it now. Not at that. Not
The
at that
path of the
level.
righteous man is beset on all sides by the
Enough.
inequities
Not
of the
with
stuff
millions
and the tyranny
following
of
us.
evil men.
Not with an audience of millions all over the world.
It
It's not
doesn't
the
matter
same.
if there were a million people looking at me right now. It doesn't change a fucking thing. We can do this 20 times to get it just right. That's what acting is. This is what cinema is. This is what TV shows are. You think they're doing this on the first
that's
take?
fine.
It's a difference of opinion.
Come on.
For me, talent, a gift of talent, is defined as someone possessing a skill level that the vast majority of the world does not possess.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter what area you're in.
Well, for me, it
Right?
does.
Whether it's the arts, whether it's medicine, whether it's choose a domain. If you possess a level of skill and ability that the vast majority of people do not possess, then you are talented.
Why is it that every actor and actress's child who decides to get into the business succeeds right away? Is it that?
Not too many of them
I'm
succeed
not aware
right away.
of the fact that they succeed.
Well, they get job. Okay, I don't have names to throw at you, unfortunately,
And that
because I
doesn't-
really
that
don't.
And
I
that
don't
doesn't
care
happen in
about
Michael
sports,
Douglas.
or it doesn't happen in other.
In sports, it happens less because you actually have to have
But it
skill.
happens.
You have to have skill.
But it happens.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the DNA.
LeBron James' kid.
We
gets
lost the
drafted.
acting audience. We lost the theater
Listen,
audience.
I'm sorry, but acting
theater
compared to the
audience.
other two,
You're entitled to your opinion.
We lost.
You're entitled
we
to your
lost
opinion.
The actors and the actors.
actors go.
The fact of the matter is, we come back to the role of celebrities as models for their audiences, and whether the celebrity chooses to be a role model or not. At the end of the day, the responsibility, the ultimate decision lies with the audience member.
Right. But a true celebrity
Right.
sparks something in people.
But why individuals feel compelled to emulate these total strangers?
They're a bunch of idiots. That's why.
No, because it's human psychology, as I said earlier.
Oh, they don't consider them strangers after a while.
Well, no, and they want to be followers. Everyone wants
Listen,
to follow.
how can you be human without having dreams? This is what celebrities
So-
play on. They play on people's dreams.
Oh God! Can't you have a dream without emulating some?
You don't have to emulate. You just, the dream of being a star, of being well known, of people coming to you for your autograph.
So you're
a lot
raising-
of people
It's
yearn
just
for
empty.
that.
It's just
But you're
empty.
raising
but
a
people yearn for
philosophical
that.
question,
Okay.
and I think the answer lies in the psychology of human beings.
Yeah. And unfortunately, yeah. Okay.
To get back to my example, Ken Dryden, I knew I would never play in the NHL, so it wasn't a dream about playing in the NHL. I just thought that he was a well-rounded
I agree with
human
you, by
being.
the way. I agree with you about Ken Dryden.
So
One of
it's,
my...
it had nothing to do with dreaming playing in the NHL because I knew that would never happen.
No, but it was the whole person that for you and I, if I may, what I'm talking about is what we celebrate is, here's a person that had it all: an athlete and a serious mind, educated, and gave public service and was a writer. So those are a lot of important boxes that.
Well,
this
I don't
gentleman checked.
think he checked all those
No.
boxes at the time. Dominic
No, at the
viewed
time,
him as
no.
a
But
role
overall,
model.
if you look at his life's
Yeah.
work.
No, but that's not when he chose
No.
him as a role
Okay,
model.
but he was already a lawyer when we were
Well, he
he was a goaltender who had a law degree.
A law degree from
Well, that's,
Cornell.
to me, to be a
Exactly.
professional, a high elite athlete, and also have a law degree, to me is quite an achievement.
Okay.
So
I generally don't look at lawyers as role models, but that's okay. You're entitled
It's
to
pronounced liars.
So now we lost the lawyers. I think we
Liars.
better put an end to this episode.
LAW, lawyers.
We lost the creatives, the actors,
Yeah.
the lawyers,
I
anybody else.
simply
that
said
wanna
I
piss
don't
off?
look to them as role models. I don't look to too many people as role models. Never have.
why don't sharks bite lawyers?
Go ahead.
Professional courtesy.
Okay, on that note,
All right. Does anyone have anything else to add to this
boy.
particular topic?
do me a favor and stop looking up to celebrities. For God's sake, just live your goddamn lives.
If you do it in a healthy way, it's good.
Don't stalk them.
Appreciate art, appreciate talent.
Be the best possible version of yourself. Live your best life, and don't necessarily look to total strangers for inspiration.
Very good.
Hey, that's good.
All right, guys. Good conversation.
Thank you.
For the most part.
For the most part.
Looking forward to doing it again next week.
Take care.
Take care.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.